With the help of their friend Glimmer, Diddy and Dixie made it out of the underwater shipwreck and back onto the docks of the destroyed port. Attempts to dam up the swamp have led to large patches of stagnant water, and, maybe due to whatever was spilled here, caused some of the reeds to grow to ridiculous heights. This is part 15 of Overthinking Donkey Kong Country 2. Right off the bat, I want to say that's a bit of a stretch, but to my credit, I've managed to rein in some of my more outlandish theories this time around. So let's let it slide for now. Krockhead Klamber is the Kong's second foray into the swamplands of Crocodile Isle. First difference is the visuals. The algae, or whatever it is on the rotten planks, is a little less vibrant, a more desaturated yellow-green. Maybe this means we're at an older or more heavily rotted part of the port. The background is a reddish-brown color that I think looks awesome. As far as I can tell, the water is about the same as Barrel Bayou. After the strong green visuals of the previous two levels, it's great to see this color scheme. It broadens the scope of Krochead without straying too far from the established aesthetic. First gameplay point I want to make is how we don't start at the level's edge, but instead a little ways into it. The zingers to the left of the starting point serve as both deterrent and hint that there's something back this way. And there is. A DK coin for those who are willing to risk it. Next, and immediately to the right of the starting point, is Cutlass, another great addition to the Gremlin crew, and one that has no analog to anyone we saw in DKC. He fights with these gnarly cutlasses, hence the name, and he's just great. That's really all I've got to say about him. Right after, we see the first of the bull rushes, which are the focal point of the first half of the level. I suppose you could expand on that and say this level's one of those the floor is lava type levels, and that's its main selling point, and I'd be hard pressed to argue, so I won't. We've got a great spread of enemies here, with Kaboing, Flitter, the two Krockheads, and later Klinger joining Cutlass and Zinger. Flitters and Kaboings walk the line between hazard and traversal assist, while the Zingers do their best to get in your way. All enemies are used to their strengths here, and do a lot of the heavy lifting in regards to challenge. The level switches things up after the halfway point, by introducing the new Krockhead barrels. As hinted by the name, this is the true focus of Krockhead Klamber. It's fairly self-explanatory. You hit a barrel and Krockheads appear. But this time there's an invisible timer at play, so you've got to be quick. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The level proceeds like that. Throw some clingers into the mix and add a bit more dynamics to the verticality, and that's all there is to it. Judging by the desaturated palette, I think this section of the bayou is an older, more dilapidated part of the old port. I don't know how algae works, so I could be way off here. The various water levels, separated by makeshift dams, make me think that, in perhaps an ill-fated attempt to stop seawater flooding into the mainland, the Kremlings inadvertently trapped large amounts of seawater, which stagnated and joined, or even helped to form, the bayou we see today. It could also be debris from the shipwreck, but it looks a bit too man-made for me to sign off on that. Episode 15 done. This level feels very much business as usual to me. There's nothing wrong with that. If we look at DKC, that game's equivalent is Forest Frenzy in Vine Valley, and it's much the same. Though I'd argue DKC2's third world is much stronger. I mean, Treetop Town is a great addition to DKC, but I feel like the overall package of Vine Valley doesn't bring as much to the table as Krochead. And as we'll see later, the best of Krochead is yet to come, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.